don't, it won't come up. So the token that you need to use is meeting with a capital M, EETING, no space, RRSO. So that's meeting with a capital M, EETING, RRSO, and that will give you simultaneous translation. So interpretation, I should say. You will hear French, English, Spanish, and Russian. So I highly recommend you do that. You also need headphones to put into your smartphone, so that will work. My name is Femi Oke. I am moderating this next session, and this next session is about you as much as our guests. We want you as special speakers. We want you to be able to communicate with them. So use the little Q&A box at the bottom of the screen and the chat box as well. And I will be looking out for those comments and questions. The team will as well. So I get to start this. Did you know that you were coming to not just a global meeting for RRSOs, but also an awards ceremony? This news came in 24 hours ago. It's brilliant news. The Prince Michael International Road Safety Awards, they recognize achievement and innovation in the efforts to create more road safety around the world. So the African Road Safety Observatory and the Asia Pacific Road Safety Observatory, they have won the 2020 Prince Michael International Road Safety Award for Innovation. I know if you could stand up and cheer, you would be doing that, but what a great way to start session 2. So the way we're going to do this panel, hello panel, it's lovely to see you. I'm just scrolling through so I can see all of your amazing faces. All right. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. I'm going to tell our audience what we're talking about, because it sounds technical, but it actually is really about implementation. So what we are looking at in this session is, how are you doing the work that you're doing? So once it's all been decided at a policy level, then what do you do? So session 2, resource allocation for evidence-based road safety investments. You will meet our speakers one by one. They are going to introduce themselves in less than a minute, make that connection with road safety, why they are passionate about it, why they care about it. We will have a chat. You can be part of that chat, audience. Send me your questions. And then once you've met all of our speakers, then we will have a much bigger discussion and a debate, compare and contrast, and talk to each other in that way. But first of all, it's really nice to be able to say hello to the Executive Secretary of the UN Economic Commission in Europe. It is really nice to see you. Will you introduce yourself to our global meeting, please? Tell us who you are and your connection that you have with road safety. Go ahead.
Thank you, Femi. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this second session. Regarding my introduction, I am UNECE Executive Secretary. What is UNECE? It is United Nations Economic Commission for Europe. So one of the 5 regional United Nations commissions that work basically on development in our regions. But why I'm today here and how it is connected to the observatories is because for 73 years, we create and elaborate global road safety legal instruments, including international conventions, agreements, technical standards, resolutions, good practice recommendations. So these instruments, they provide a commonly accepted legal and technical framework for road safety. And this is why the seat of the Secretary General Special Envoy, Mr. Jean Todt, whom we have seen in the first session, his secretariat has a seat with us, and also the UN Road Safety Fund has a seat in UNECE in Geneva. So maybe just a small hint, just not to go above 1 minute. The question here is how the Road Safety Fund can support observatories, and I would like to just start and provoke the discussion a little bit that the observatories are undoubtedly very important on data and so collecting and assessing this data, but it is not only an exclusive issue that needs to be discussed or addressed when speaking about the road safety, because we are working on 5 pillars of road safety, and that were mentioned: safe roads, safe cars, safe drivers, legislation, etc. So I will stop here. And go back to you, Fanny.
Thank you. Executive Secretary, when you knew you were going to be in this session, you knew that this was an important session because implementation, we talked and talked and talked and talked, and then we have to actually do it. What was on your agenda that you felt was the most important detail that you needed to share with our meeting?
Oh, the most important detail, and really it is we cannot do it on behalf of member states. We can support them, we can help them, but member states needs to take their share of responsibility, because we are fundraising into our road safety fund. We are making call for proposals. For me, it is a success. In a little bit more than 2 years, we were able to raise $20 million, but in 1 year, in one call for proposals, we are able to disburse just 4 million. Okay, so for me, it's, and I heard in the first session speaking about Heads of State Summit. I would love to organize the pledging conference, and I would love to see the road safety in the budgets of our member states. This is the first, and second, we need to bring it down from the governmental level to the local governments and cities level. So this is the most needed for me.
Mm-hmm. I know you're going to be an active participant in this discussion. I can feel the energy and determination exuding off the screen. So that is fantastic. We will come back to you. And I'm also going to share with our audience right now, our meeting right now, the different places that our speakers are coming from. Because of course, this meeting is about regionalization, the power of the region as opposed to global, though we're getting together as a global network. I want to welcome to greet Cambodia's Senior Minister of Public Works and Transport. Minister, it is really nice to see you. Introduce yourself to our audience and tell them the most important part of your job regarding road safety. Nice to see you. Please go ahead. Hello, Minister Chanthor. Are you with us? This is the exciting part of.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's now.
Right. I do.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for
fantastic.
the invitation to be
nice to
on
see you.
Session. I'm Shanto San, the Minister of Public Work and Transport, and also the Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Committee. My job is to build road, but at the same time to work to reduce the road accident in Cambodia. Today, road accidents is the major health issues in Cambodia. You know, right after the war, internal conflict for 30 years in Cambodia, landmine ranked number first in terms of casualty fatality in Cambodia, followed by HIV/AIDS and road accident. But today, road accident ranked number one, whereas the average close to 5 people die on the road every day in Cambodia. So our role as the National Road Safety Committee is to work together with the foreign partners, the private sectors at the national level and at the provincial level to reduce that mortality by half by 2030.
That's one of the reasons we really wanted you to be part of this meeting, because you have a really high mortality rate from road deaths. Why is it, Minister? What is the tricky issue that makes that happen?
Well, you know, as we build more road, okay, the road is much better, so people drive much faster. So 32% of the fatality come from speeding. That's an issue. 2, we have more cars, we have more motorcycle. You know, so the economic in Cambodia grow by 7% per annum. So you see the growth you know, of our GDP. So people have more money to buy a motorcycle, buy a car. At the same time, we build more road. So speeding, drunk driving, the law, they don't understand about your road safety, road law. So it takes us a lot of time to explain to them that law is important, enforcement is important. And you know, you have the law, but you don't enforce it, it's meaningless. So we're just starting, trying to really enforce the law May of this year, because we saw the rate of accident mortality increase in 2019 versus 2018. So since the enforcement, strict enforcement in May of this year, we see the drop of the accident by 23%, the mortality, the death dropped by 18% for the first 10 months of this year. So enforcement is extremely, extremely important. You have laws, it's on the paper, but you don't enforce it, it's meaningless.
How do you communicate that to the public? Is the public aware of the high mortality rates on the roads in Cambodia? Do they know that? And then how do you communicate it to them?
While we have the program in school, our Road National Safety Committee go to the provinces, to educate people. We go to school, we go to factory, we go to private company to educate them about these road law in a country. But we cannot do it alone. The National Road Safety Committee cannot do it alone. We must engage all stakeholders, especially the private sector also. They have a lot of employees. So what we start doing in the last couple of months is to train 2 employees from each company. So we identify 10,000 companies that we're going to educate 2 staff of those companies. But we start last month only with 26 companies. But we're going to continue to educate the private sector, 10,000 companies. So they can go back in turn to teach their people in place of National Road Safety Committee. We teach people in the factory, the government factory, thousands of employees there, but we cannot do it alone. They must be with us. So we're doing that. We also have TV spot, that we share with the people. We do a lot of spot on road safety, on drunk driving, on seat belt, helmet wearing, and so on and so forth. So we continue to do that. I'm preparing another spot, that's going to be ready by January, talk about all aspects of road accident in Cambodia. And then in that spot, we'll include all people from walk of life. You have a student, you have a monk, you have a villager, you have a student, everybody in that film, around 20-minute film, and divide into like 13 different spots that I can bring in one spot at a time on TV.
What is the spot like? Because I remember when I was a little girl, there would be lots of drunk driving spots, and they were quite terrifying. It was a little bit like a horror movie in the 1970s, because in the 1970s, people didn't wear seatbelts and they drank and they drove. Not that they still don't do that, but there were some very fierce campaigns that were actually quite terrifying. What approach are you taking in Cambodia? Are you scaring people?
It's like a true story, actually. When we write the script, which I also part of write the script, is that, for example, the husband or the father, he's a motorcycle taxi driver, right? So he got drunk, and he crashed and he died. So the wife that has been sick has no money to buy medicine, because he's the one who can provide the income to buy medicine. So at the end, 2 daughters had to drop out of high school to work in a farm to support the mother. It's very sad, true story. So this is the kind of thing that get people, understand. And I would say, so sad, they cry with it. I also sometimes want to cry when I watch that video. This is the kind of thing that we use. We also use real accident where a small kid crossed the street and then a car hit her, broke her leg. And then she said, look, I cannot play anymore with all my classmates because now I only have one leg. So this is a kind of true story that we use for our spot.
Minister Chanthol, I have so many more questions, but I am going to share those questions with you, with our audience. But for now, thank you very much. It's giving us a little sense of your work and what you're doing in Cambodia. We continue to greet all of our speakers, and I will bring you all back. So, Minister, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fascinating insight into your work. We go now to India. I want to welcome the Minister for Road, Transport and Highways in India, Minister Gadkari. Welcome. Nice to see you. I'm giving you 1 minute to introduce yourself and tell us about the importance of your job, your work regarding road safety. Welcome.
All respectable dignitaries and dear friends. As far as the road accidents are concerned, India is the most important country. 11% of global road accident deaths occur in India. And actually 3.14% of national GDP is lost due to road accident deaths. So we have taken a lot of preventive measures. We have changed the law, taking strong actions. We are already formulated the body for road safety, and we have already identified the black spots. And government is making special provision for improvement in road engineering. At the same time, we are now taking measures to educate the students particularly, who are the citizen of the future, to understand the road safety issues. And now, positively, it is a good remark that our road accident and death percentage is already reduced up to 20%. And one of the success story with the cooperation of World Bank in one of the important states, Tamil Nadu, they already reduced 25% accident and 25% deaths. We are working very hard for that. And I am confident in the year or next year, we will 100% succeed in this mission.
For me, please.
Black spots means the one place which is identified on national highway. We have national highway, state highway, district highway, national highway. We have national highway, state highway, district highway, and city roads. Where there are number of accident taken places more, that spot is known as black spot. And we identify that black spots, and for that purpose, for road engineering point of view, we improve that. And we are taking sufficient measures that how we can improve that black spots, where for the future there should not be accidents. And that is the preventive measure we have taken. We have already spending something 12,000 crore from national highway on this black spot improvement. And today already we have submitted one report to ADB and World Bank, and where 50% contribution from the federal government. We are making of improvement of black spots in road engineering because of curves and other things. So these are very important things where we can prevent accidents, and we will save the life of the people.
What does that mean literally on the highway? What sufficient measures mean? On the highway, what sufficient measures mean?
The Motor Vehicle Act is the principal instrument through which road transport is regulated in the country. Accessibility and safety of each road user is our foremost priority. And Motor Vehicle Amendment Act 2019 mandates the establishment of independent apex body, the National Road Safety Board, to provide advice to the central government and state government in respect of road safety and traffic management. Ministry has released a standard operating procedure for identification, correction, and digital monitoring of road accidents and black spot. Already I explained it. Then Ministry has issued a circular which makes it mandatory to carry our road safety audit, which is very important. We are taking report, and by which we are making improvement. There will be penalty to road contractors, those because of road engineering problem. Consultant and concessionaires accountable for poor road quality, design, maintenance, and safety issues. In addition to safety audits, speed control, measures, geometric safety standards, traffic signs, road marking are followed, with start of Art Indian Road Congress and International Standard Code. Steps are being taken to ensure.
Those pieces of paper, that's the entire Road Safety Act on a
Yes.
hard copy. All right, so we all know that there's a difference between a law and a law being applied. So it sounds like you've got all of those great law in place, which looks like it would safeguard citizens. But then is it being applied? If you're being very candid, is it being applied? Is it being used? Are people paying attention to what is actually law?
Actually, the way in which the statistics is changing, it means that it is positively, it given response to our mission. Actually, we need to education of people by and large regarding road safety. There are education, enforcement, and emergency, that medical services were to given them, and at the same time engineering. On the forefront, we are taking preventive measures. We are very sensitive about it. And in Indian situation, we have a federal government, then state government, and our population is very big. So naturally, we are already on the track, And I'm confident that now we are getting positive results, and 20% deaths and road accidents percentage is already reduced.
A big conversation with you when I bring all of the speakers back, but it's been really nice to talk to you and actually physically see a road safety law, which is very impressive. Thank you very much, Minister. Don't go away. I will come right back to you in just a moment. Thank you very much. Where should we go to next? Where shall I take you next? The Kingdom of Morocco. The Minister of Equipment, Transport, Logistics and Water is joining us. I'm really curious to hear how Morocco is dealing with road safety. Hello, Minister. Welcome. Let me see if the Minister is there. This is very exciting. You never know what's going to quite happen. Minister Amara, are you with us? From the Kingdom of Morocco, he's the Minister of Equipment, Transport, Logistics and Water. Abdul Kader Amara, Minister, are you there?
Oui, yes. Oui, merci. Je vous remercie pour votre invitation. Donc, je suis très heureux de participer avec vous à cette conférence très importante. Moi, c'est Chakawi Khalid, secrétaire général du ministère de l'équipement, des transports, de la logistique et de l'eau. Et j'interviens dans cette conférence au nom de Monsieur le ministre Abdelkader Amara parce qu'il est occupé. Il a eu une urgence et il n'a pas pu éventuellement participer avec vous à cette conférence. Et effectivement, comme vous avez dit que le Maroc accorde une importance particulière à la sécurité routière, et étant donné que notre ministère, le ministère du Transport, de la Logistique, de l'eau, donc il a deux grandes missions. Une mission, c'est la construction et la mise en œuvre d'une politique des infrastructures de transport, mais en parallèle, c'est la mise en œuvre de politiques qui permettent d'offrir des services de transport compétitifs, de qualité, sûrs et respectueux de l'environnement. Et dans ce sens, la question de la sécurité routière, elle est très importante en termes c'est-à-dire de services de transport. Dans ce sens-là, le Maroc, depuis quelques années, donc, il a mis en œuvre une véritable politique de sécurité routière dont l'objectif, c'est de réduire de façon très significative le nombre de tués sur les routes et aussi le nombre de blessés graves sur l'ensemble des routes. Depuis ces dates, donc, il y a plusieurs actions qui sont entreprises. D'une part, sur un volet législatif qui est très important. Donc, il y a eu la révision du code de la route, donc une révision globale qui permet effectivement de mettre en œuvre tous les aspects d'éducation, de la formation, de la mise en œuvre, la mise à niveau des opérateurs, mais aussi tout ce qui concerne la sensibilisation et le respect du code de la route. En parallèle, ces dernières années, donc effectivement, pour donner une impulsion particulière à la sécurité routière, le Maroc il a créé une agence dédiée à la sécurité routière qui va éventuellement mettre la synthèse de l'ensemble c'est-à-dire des efforts en termes de sécurité routière et fédérer l'ensemble des acteurs, que ce soit des acteurs publics ou bien des acteurs privés dans ce sens-là.
General Secretary, it's good to have you. Thank you very much for being with us. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about is, can you give us an example so that we can understand how you are tackling road safety? You can give us an example. Maybe the minister from India talked about black spots. The minister from Cambodia, he spoke about writing television ads to encourage the public to pay more attention to road safety. In Morocco, how are you reaching the public?
Oui, effectivement, c'est-à-dire pour l'aspect c'est-à-dire de la sécurité routière, tout d'abord, en termes de conception des infrastructures de transport, il est très important de tenir en compte les aspects de sécurité lorsqu'on construit les routes, et les autoroutes et les voies express, effectivement en mettant en place tous les aspects géométriques et de géologie qui permettent effectivement de bien concevoir les infrastructures de transport. D'un autre côté, il y a effectivement tous les aspects concernant c'est-à-dire tous les véhicules de transport, donc où il faut effectivement un contrôle sur c'est-à-dire l'état c'est-à-dire des véhicules de transport Et un autre point qui est très important, c'est tout ce qui est les aspects de formation des conducteurs, effectivement, en renforçant c'est-à-dire la formation des conducteurs au niveau des auto-écoles, mais aussi des efforts très importants pour la formation professionnelle des opérateurs, c'est-à-dire tous les conducteurs professionnels, en insistant sur des formations récurrentes et des rafraîchissements au niveau d'un certain nombre d'années sur les aspects de sécurité routière. Mais le plus important, effectivement, comme vous avez dit, il y a des campagnes de sensibilisation très, très importantes sur lesquelles il faut insister de façon continue en impliquant l'ensemble des acteurs, que ce soit les acteurs publics, que ce soit au niveau des acteurs privés, mais aussi en associant toute la société civile à cette problématique de sensibilisation. Il y a un effort au niveau national, mais aussi il y a un effort qu'il faut faire au niveau territorial pour qu'on puisse être très proche des populations et usagers de la route.
General Secretary, what is your biggest challenge in cutting the road deaths in the Kingdom of Morocco? What keeps you up at night?
Oui, effectivement, c'est-à-dire pour une réduction très très importante c'est-à-dire du nombre de morts sur les routes, il est très important de continuer cet effort-là, c'est-à-dire en termes d'aménagement des infrastructures de transport qui sont éventuellement très sécurisées, mais il faut continuer cet effort-là aussi en termes de sensibilisation et de changement des mentalités et de l'appréhension par rapport effectivement à ces aspects de sécurité routière. Mais il faut aussi renforcer le contrôle au niveau des respects, c'est-à-dire du code de la route. Et dans ce sens-là, le Maroc, ces dernières années, nous avons entrepris un effort très important en termes d'équipement des routes, en termes de radars, c'est-à-dire de radars automatiques pour le contrôle des vitesses, parce que la plus grande, effectivement, cause c'est-à-dire des accidents de la circulation, c'est la vitesse qui est très, très importante. Mais aussi, il faut protéger tous les gens qui sont les usagers vulnérables, notamment les piétons et les deux roues, qui sont effectivement les usagers les plus vulnérables aux accidents de la route. Donc, il faut continuer cette sensibilisation très, très importante et de façon continue.
General Secretary, thank you very much indeed. We will come back to you in our big conversation, global meeting. I see your questions. They're excellent questions. I will get to them in just a moment because they're for all the panelists. So I'm going to get you to meet all of the panelists and then we'll dig deep into those excellent questions. The Minister of Transport or in Ethiopia, I should really say, is joining us, very active as far as road safety is concerned. Minister, would you introduce yourself to our global meeting for anyone who has not seen you speak before, and your passion for road safety, what drives that? Excuse the terrible driving pun. It was not intended. Nice to see you. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Femi, and I'm really glad to be part of this discussion. I'm the Transport Minister of Ethiopia, and I'm also the chair of the National Road Safety Council. One of the major driving reason that made me to be engaged highly in this area is that as a developing country, the asset that we have is our people. But traffic accident is one of the major cause of fatality in my country. Even when we take the new COVID-19 pandemic, so far, the number of days that we entertain is not more than 1,800. But in 1 year time, in traffic accident, we lost the life of more than 4,000 people in our country. And most of them are youngsters, the futures of our country. So working in this area is not something that we're going to compromise. And my ministry is responsible for the transport infrastructure development and also regulating the service provision in different modes of transport, including road sector development and road transport service provision. So this is one of the major driving factor.
How are you approaching education? Because part of this is talking to either road users, whether they be pedestrians or whether they be vehicular road users, about knowing about the mortality rates and then behaving in a different way to make sure that those rates go down. How are you doing that?
Recently, as a country, we ratified the non-motorized transport strategy, which gives high priority more for pedestrian, cyclists, and if the worst comes, for mass transport, rather than utilization of individual single vehicles. So the strategy that we designed for non-motorized transport is one of the measures that we have taken to protect and safeguard the lives of our people. And in addition to that, we're working with the Ministry of Education. And as of next academic year, in our curriculum, the road safety concern is going to be inculcated starting from kindergarten, primary education, to secondary education level. So when we make it part of our education system, we can create awareness to our people so that they can protect themselves rather than being exposed for different accidents. Also, we are working on the behaviors of the drivers. We are working aggressively on the law enforcement part as well. We are working both on education, awareness creation, and at the same time, law enforcement. So by doing both, we believe that we're going to reduce the fatality rate that we're facing currently.
I'm going to ask you a really direct question, and this is a closed meeting. It's not a public meeting, but it's quite a difficult one for you to be very candid about. So do your best. I am wondering, in the hierarchy of ministers and ministries, where road safety comes in Ethiopia, because everybody is jostling, education is jostling, all of the various different departments are jostling for attention and money and funding. And if we're really honest with each other, there should be a tiny, tiny, tiny statistic for road safety deaths around the world, because it's not political. Everybody wants their citizens to live and thrive. So, but if you were really honest, and what could you share with us that might help other ministers in your situation about how you get the attention and how you get the budget and the funding and the political will to do your job?
Actually, we believe that we're having a better political